Why is Israel attacking so many places at once? Gaza is under fire, Lebanon is burning, Syria is shaking, and Iran hit from the shadows. This isn't just war, it's something bigger. July 2025. The Middle East is ablaze. But this time, it's not just one conflict, it's many. Israel is bombing Gaza. It's striking Hezbollah in Lebanon. It's hitting military convoys in Syria. And weeks ago, it even launched airstrikes deep inside Iran. This isn't random chaos, it's coordinated. And very deliberate. It all kicked off in Gaza. Late June, Hamas fired dozens of rockets at southern Israel after an Israeli raid in Jenin killed several militants. Israel responded fast and hard, pounding Hamas targets with jets and drones. The airstrikes destroyed infrastructure, command centers, and unfortunately, many civilian homes. For Israel, Gaza was the first domino. The northern border erupted next. Hezbollah fired rockets from southern Lebanon into northern Israel, claiming solidarity with Palestinians. This triggered the Israeli Air Force to launch waves of airstrikes, targeting rocket sites and Hezbollah supply tunnels. Some strikes even reached the outskirts of Beirut. Then came Syria. For years, Iran has used Syria as a weapons highway to Hezbollah. Now, Israel is hitting those convoys more aggressively than ever. This month alone, Israeli jets hit military outposts in Damascus and Homs and obliterated Iranian-backed convoys near the Iraq-Syria border. But the biggest headline? Israel striking inside Iran itself. On June 13th, drones and stealth aircraft targeted Iranian nuclear and missile facilities in what Israel called Operation Rising Lion. Several nuclear sites were damaged. Iran responded with missile launches and cyber attacks. The world watched in shock as the quiet war turned into open confrontation. Why is Israel fighting everyone at once? Intelligence reports warned that Hamas, Hezbollah, and other Iran-backed groups were planning simultaneous attacks. Instead of waiting, Israel decided to go preemptive. Officials said, "We can't afford to wait for rockets to fall on our homes. The plan, strike before the threat fully materializes." Iran supports Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, Shia militias in Syria, and the Houthis in Yemen. Israel calls this the axis of resistance, a growing circle of enemies backed and supplied by Tehran. By striking Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and Iran, Israel is trying to break the chain linking them. Prime Minister Netanyahu is leading this campaign personally. Facing corruption trials and public protests, his approval ratings were falling. Many believe he's using this war to unify the country and distract from domestic crises. But others say he's doing what needs to be done to protect Israel's future. The United States initially called for restraint. But after Iran fired retaliatory missiles, the U.S. joined in, flying bomber support missions with Israel and hitting Iranian missile bases. Washington remains Israel's closest ally. But as the conflict grows, so does American hesitation. The world remembers Iraq and Afghanistan. At the center of all this is Iran's nuclear program. Israeli intelligence claims Iran is just weeks away from enriching uranium to weapons-grade levels. That's why Israel's strikes on Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan were so intense. They weren't just symbolic. They were a message. We will not allow a nuclear Iran. War doesn't just hit armies. It hits homes. In Gaza, entire neighborhoods have been leveled. In southern Lebanon, families are fleeing. Israeli citizens are living under constant rocket sirens. And in Iran, people near military zones are evacuating. The human cost is staggering and growing by the day. Even Yemen is involved. The Houthis, backed by Iran, have launched drones toward Israel from across the Red Sea. In response, Israeli jets and missiles struck Houthi military facilities near Hodeidah. Red Sea shipping lanes are now in danger, putting global oil and trade routes at risk. Just a year ago, Saudi Arabia and Israel were close to peace. Now, Riyadh calls Israel's Gaza operation a genocide. Relations are frozen. Saudi leaders are warming back up to Iran, a major shift in Middle East alliances. The Abraham Accords are unraveling fast. The U.S. is trying to broker a 60-day ceasefire in Gaza, with hostage releases, aid corridors, and troop withdrawals. But both sides are skeptical. Iran and Israel have stopped direct attacks, but only temporarily. Behind the scenes, both are rearming, regrouping, and preparing for what might come next. If Hezbollah launches a full-scale missile barrage, Israel will likely invade southern Lebanon. If Iran restarts high-level enrichment, more Israeli strikes will follow. And if the U.S. deepens involvement, the region could plunge into a much wider war, possibly drawing in Turkey, Egypt, and Gulf states. This isn't just a war, it's a strategic reset. Israel believes it must act now or be overrun later. Iran believes it must push back or lose influence forever. And millions of civilians are caught in between, hoping this fire doesn't turn into an inferno. Like, subscribe, comment. Because the next chapter of this conflict is being written right now.